moment in every life when you decide to rise, to stand taller than your fear, to speak louder than your doubt, to chase the vision that sets your soul on fire. This is that moment. And here, we walk it together with stories that awaken, voices that inspire, and truths that set you free. This is Positive Talk with Kevin McDonald, where hope has a voice, and that voice is yours. And welcome to the show, everybody. We've got a great show for you, a return guest. And we asked him to return for a command performance because he has to be here because, quite frankly, we need his expertise.
And there was nobody else available, frankly. But
yeah, yeah, and the guy that was scheduled for this time slot, he canceled. So Rob stepped in.
Stomach thing, you know. It's.
Yeah, I'm not going to go there because I could say so, I won't. But Rob Leonetti is here, and you can go to his website, which is hopebridgecollective.com, to find out all about him. And he is a trauma coach. I don't know about you guys, but I think we've got a little bit of trauma going on, and some of it's internalized, and some of it is brought to us by just these days turning on the news, as an example. So,
amen.
So it's like we all need somebody to help us get through it, and Rob is that guy. So welcome to the show, Rob. How are you?
Thank you, Kevin. I really appreciate you having me back. It's a pleasure to be here. And yeah, isn't that the broadest subject in the world? Trauma these days, just collectively, right? I think the world needs a Band-Aid.
It needs a tourniquet.
Lots and lots of stuff. But thank you for having a media outlet for positivity. I mean, goodness knows how we all not only need but require this type of output, where there is just the polar opposite everywhere else we look. It's really abysmal out there.
It really is. What I was saying to you before? Well, actually, you had some questions, or you had some thoughts that you wanted to lead off the show with. So let me have you do that, and then we'll get into it.
Yeah, sure. I mean, again, thank you for having me to talk about kind of the subject at hand, which I think probably matters to many more people than just myself, but it matters extremely deeply to me. It's really how to survive and keep our collective humanity staying grounded, let alone finding joy. God forbid, right? In a world that feels like it's literally on fire. The world feels like it's on fire. You look around, and everywhere is negativity. I mean, my specialty is trauma, all the ways that it affects and permeates negatively the human condition. And I have never in my life, I've lived a few years, I've never seen the level of toxicity, traumatic events happening across the entire globe like it is right now. That's my question to you. You've been around the sun a few times, Kevin, and I know you've seen, large conflicts globally, etc. But the collective issues and negativity and violence, have you seen anything like what we're seeing today in your lifetime?
Nope, and I can take you all the way back to 1968.
This is where I'm going with this. Yeah, exactly.
1968 was a horrific year. Four students at Kent State were shot and killed by the National Guard. Martin Luther King was killed. Bobby Kennedy, who I thought was just wonderful and would have changed the country, as did Martin Luther King, and they were both killed. But I don't recall seeing the Holocaust type violence and the numbers of people that, like in Gaza and the Ukraine and here
Just
and I have never seen. Well, hey, Rob, I gotta tell you, because now you're gonna get me going. But can you if I would have told you 5 years ago
right.
that there were going to be armed, military bound people with handkerchiefs around their face
Right.
or masks around their face, and we're traveling up and down the city streets deciding that can I see your papers, or you look like you could be from another country, why don't you come with us and we'll try and figure it out. I,
Yeah.
I have never seen the type of abuses of people that I see today. It's very disconcerting for everybody. I
So much so. And I mean, I think it has everything to do with 100% unfettered access to real-time mainstream and social media. I mean, we scroll through endless feeds of fear, outrage, bombarded, literally traumatized on a daily basis, negativity, violence, hate, divisiveness, even witnessing unspeakable acts of tragedy live in real time. That's unheard of. And all of this while we try to juggle jobs that 8 out of 10 of us don't even like, and the pressures of raising our families and all the other responsibilities that come with living a life, leave us just drained. And these are not just statistics, Kevin. This is a society literally in flames, barely running on fumes. So it's my humble opinion that the entire world is traumatized and our collective nervous system is fried. And even more, really more sadly, many of us have become desensitized and numb, hopeless in the midst of this collective madness. And I think that's where this conversation really begins, because the question is not how do we fix the world. That's really too big for any one person. We could all make our own impacts, but it's like you have to take care of yourself and be your best self to give your best self to the world. Um, so how do you stay hopeful? How do you find a semblance of joy? How do you stay well in a world that feels unwell? And I know in my lifetime, and I know the future will show, the pendulum will swing back to those on the side of right and love and kindness and peace. It will happen. It happens very slow. History shows us this. But in the meantime, how do you survive on this, one and only life that you have, when everything around feels uncertain, unsafe, and just out of control? I mean, I think the only answer is it's not out there, it's in here. And that's inside your own body, inside your nervous system, inside the way you respond to life instead of reacting to it, even in today's violent climate. And that's what I want to unpack with you, Kev. How to come back to yourself and reclaim your sense of peace. And remember that even in the chaos, you really still have the power to do that.
it's an amazingly complex situation that we find ourselves in. So I do, I do what my heart told me to do was stay the hell home. Don't don't go live in your little gated old folks home community,
Oh,
and not go venture out and stuff. But there's a point that you just can't do that,
no, you have
and
to live a life. Yeah.
and even turning on the dang TV set. And even when you're thinking you're going to watch a nice presentation, and it turns out, and then the the thing comes in that says emergency news
Breaking
or
news,
breaking news,
yeah.
and it's every day. It
Every day.
is relentless. I don't know how you deal with it, except like good strong medication.
That and well, I'm here to tell you that there's other ways. But don't get me wrong, for those suffering true legitimate mental illness, things of that nature, very severe um, deficits, there are medications, there are clinical pathways and experts to work with those inferred. But the majority of us, out of the 9 billion on this rock hurtling through space, are not in that category. So what do we do?
Well,
Um,
and I want to give you an example of
yeah.
how crazy it is, how crazy it's become.
You don't need to look far for examples.
No,
Yeah.
it's like you and your significant other decide, it's Friday night. Why don't we go to our favorite restaurant? And our favorite restaurant happens to be right there on the water. And you figure you can be out on the deck and the water is right there and it's safe because who's going to come and then a boat pulls up and shoots, kills 3 people and wounds 8 people. It's like there isn't anywhere safe where you can go, Rob, where you can feel like, and the kids. I was talking to a lady that was talking to about kids, and now that there are kids shooters that are of the age where they went through shooter drills, so they know where the kids are hiding.
Oh,
We are, so I don't know, and that's why it's important to have people like you, because we've got to live a life, and it's not about packing and getting and packing a bunch of
can't hide.
firearms and
You
stuff.
can't hide from it. You'll never leave your house. How could you? Why would you leave your house if that was your demeanor, to just hide from it? No, that's where it all wins. That's terrorists. That's what their goal, and regardless, domestic, et cetera, certainly don't want to bring this into a political conversation. You have another show for that, but this
I
this
do.
is, it's very much politically charged, but even much deeper. The point is, you don't have to. I mean, that's the point. The world is on fire. So how do you survive? You have to look inwards. There's no other place, because you know what you're going to get when you look outwards. Just pick up your phone and all the reasons we just spoke about. So I discovered, ways to help myself. My past is, I believe, last time I was here, I went through my snapshot, which was, I lost my dad when I was very young, and had a lot of developmental trauma, instability, fear, all the things. Um, and my body carried all of that through my life. I desperately tried to forget it, but my body wouldn't let me forget it, because that's where all that trauma hid. And by my 30s, I was battling autoimmune illness and burnout. By my 40s, I had cardiac stents caused by systemic inflammation and plagued my body. None of the doctors I saw could explain it, and it was up to me to figure it out. And that's when I turned inward and used a very deep-seated passion for health and wellness. And I always had a talent for synergizing information. So I devoted myself to studying, gosh, countless subjects in science, in humanity, even in faith, because we're human beings. We're not just scientific experiments. We are a person, and faith is a part of that. Spirituality, name it, label it, whatever you want. It's part of who we are. We're not just flesh and blood. We're kind of spiritual creatures, etc. So, uh, do you know that the mysteries of the body always fascinate me. And I came across some statistics lately I'll share with you and your audience that it's actually interesting. Do you know that leading scientists actually conclude that less than 10% is actually known about the human body and how it actually works, let alone the complexities of the brain and the mind. And nobody knows what consciousness is. That phrase, practicing medicine, really comes to mind. And
10%?
10%. As a matter of fact, another factoid was that over 50% of medical books that are the content that doctors train on in medical school are fraught with mistakes, unbelievably incorrect. So
Oh,
it,
goody.
yeah, goody. It just goes to show you, we may know some, but we don't know a lot. So in that part of my life, I took it upon myself and I just dove in, because it was either that or I was going to literally die trying. And that's when I discovered the trauma aspect of all of this, how the mind and the body are so unified and connected, how you lose your connection to safety, your authenticity, and how it debilitates physical and mental health in the most astonishing ways. And through all of that realization and a heck of a lot of other soul searching and science, because I am very data driven, but I'm a big believer in spirituality, inspiration. You want to feel. We're emotional creatures. You want to feel like there's hope. Um, so I dug myself out of that hole, and if I could do it, I said, I got to turn this pain into purpose. I need to help others do the same, because I know out of 8 billion people, I'm not the only one who ever experienced this. Heck no. So
Nope,
that's
there's
my
not any of us. I think all of us. It's been well, Rob Leonetti is our guest, and I wanted to mention this because Samuel, he's from Kenya, and he says, once again, my great friend, brother Kevin, thanks for hosting this favorite program, Positive Talk Radio Show, our favorite program, watching and listening keenly from Kaibiria slum in Nairobi, Kenya. Really, we love this program because this is where we learn from different guests. And say hello to Rob Leonetti, and we're listening to him live. And there are 20 people in a room in Kenya that are listening to Positive Talk on YouTube. And
Hey,
so, Rob,
everybody.
say hello.
Hello, everybody. Hope everyone is doing well. I have friends in South Africa, as a matter of fact. So, hoping you all are doing very, very well and living healthy, well lives. And God bless you all.
And we need to take a real quick break. And when we come back, I wanted to delve more into you can't go without or go to an external source. So you need to go internally. But
Hmm.
how do you do that and keep a sense of positivity and purpose about it and not want to jump off a bridge? And we'll be right back right after this. Love, war, and freedom collide in the Girl of Many Crowns. Judith of Francia's story will take you from the heart of royal courts to the chaos of Viking invasions. It's a tale of resilience and courage that proves history is not just written by kings, but by women who dared to choose their own path. The Girl of Many Crowns is available now on Amazon Books, Kindle, Amazon Audiobooks, Barnes & Noble, Kobo, and Book Baby Bookshop. Don't just read history, experience it. Order your copy today. And welcome back. We are back with a remarkable, I can say that, can't I? You're a remarkable man. And you are, yeah, I'm talking to you.
Thought there was somebody behind me for a minute there.
No, because of the work that you've done, the experiences that you've had. By the way, we are a sum total of all of our experiences. And
Ooh.
we need to figure out how we can not internalize the external stuff that's getting tossed at us on a daily basis, but how do we keep ourselves sane without kicking the dog or yelling at the wife or doing all those things, which is the natural reaction of when you're experiencing stress. And not only that, but your physical health. You had stints in your 30s or 40s and
Yeah,
stuff.
both. Yeah, yeah. Yeah, I mean, my dad passed when he was 36 years old, leaving behind four kids, and I was two. So, God rest him. He didn't want to go anywhere. He had a whole family, and it just boggles my mind that no matter what is going on and the atrocities of cancer and so many different illnesses, exotic and commonplace, heart disease still is the number one killer, and it's mainly preventable. And ain't that something? So we talk about the sum total. We have a lot to be thankful for, and we have a lot that we're in control of. And that's kind of where it leads into the other part of our discussion. And thank you very much for your kind words. I don't consider myself remarkable. I'm just a guy. I just have a journey. I have a story. I have a particular uh, skill and talent in this area. And that's it. You have remarkable guests on the daily. We all have our own journeys. We all have our perspectives, and that's what makes it unique. People could come on and say precisely the same thing in a different way, and that's the amazing thing about communication and how we consume and metabolize information, because somebody could come on and resonate with the audience because they are, let's say, plain speaking, and somebody could come on and go deep in science and another niche of the audience gets excited. Well, I know how I learn. I learn with the combination of both of those. I want to have definitely facts. I don't mind a little woo woo because there's a heck of a lot going on that we don't know about in this universe. And I'll be darned if I'm going to, shove off any kind of metaphysical thing that makes sense to me. So I speak the way I want to be spoken to around these subjects.
And I
Um,
do have to say, by the way, that
yes, sir.
Tony disagrees with you.
Tony.
Tony says, "Hello, Rob Leonetti. He
Hello.
surely is a remarkable man." Um, so,
I think I may, yeah. Thank you, Tony. I appreciate that very
oh,
much.
by the way, Tony, I have to tell you, I think you just embarrassed Rob a little bit.
I think I may
Um,
know that Tony, but
I figured you might,
she's
but
amazing. She's astounding. As a matter, talk about remarkable. That word is aptly placed on that person.
well, the cool thing is, Rob, is that because of the work that you do and the work that you've done, there are
Yeah,
so many people that you've helped to get grounded and to figure out how to live through this time. Because I mean, I picked up my smartphone. Every time I pick up this dang thing, it's got another message about some weird stuff that's going on, either in the capital or in another place, or
yeah.
there's no escaping it, and unless you just cut yourself off from all of it. But then that's no answer either, is it?
Well, it's absolutely not. You don't live a life. You absolutely don't live a life. But I think hiding is not the answer. So as we continue down this road, where is the power? I think the power begins with recognizing that you do have the power. Many don't. You don't. You just kind of play a victim, not purposefully, but just you don't. You don't have the knowledge. You haven't been provided. You haven't been given some semblance, or we all have aha moments. It could happen on the daily, the weekly, the monthly, once a year. Those aha moments can absolutely change the trajectory of your life. You overheard somebody on the bus say something. Oh my gosh, I never thought of that. You read something in a book. Holy crap, I never ever put that situation framed in that perspective. And your friend just having a casual conversation. Oh my God, you just solved my life's issues. These are gold. These are absolute diamonds. And that's what I hope to bring, just a few data points that may create some different thinking in those who don't believe that there is another way to experience life. And that brings me to the power of your own agency, finding control in that chaos. So how do you do that? How do
Well,
we put foot?
Rob, hold
Yeah.
on just a second,
Mhm.
because one of the people that said that they love what's going on is this girl. I don't know if you know her. Her name is Brichelle, and she is listening to the show right now.
Hello,
And I would be thrilled if she were to call me on my personal number
oh,
so
the
that I could put her on here, because Rob was looking forward to talking with you.
Rochelle's not here today, but
Uh,
at least
she, he,
she's on the phone.
he was so sad.
So,
I
so
had to cheer him up, and I said, and tell him that I wasn't chopped liver, and he said, "Well, you're okay, but she's wonderful." Anyway,
oh well,
so so, so I'm
Kevin
sorry.
McDonald, you dastardly guy, you.
I know. Well, so give us some while we're waiting for Michelle to get up the
Yes,
courage to give us a call, and you won't be seen, and you don't have to be on you can be on my phone. So give us a call. And so Rob, continue. I'm sorry. I digress.
no worries whatsoever. I know. Rochelle's a little under the weather today, so I think choice, right? We said before choice and agency. I wasn't really sure what agency was, but
I
now
don't either know. What is it?
agency means remembering that while we can't control everything that happens around us, not even a little, we have the influence on how to respond to it. That leads to choice. External control is an illusion, but agency and choice, that's power. Every small choice you make to breathe, to pause, to respond to stimuli instead of reacting, that's agency and choice in action. When you claim your agency and your choice, you stop letting the world write your story and you start authoring it. That's where your internal sense of control blossoms, and healing and true understanding and connection with yourself begins. Think about it. Just like you said, Kevin, your reality and your life are the sum totals of your thoughts and your choices. So you don't let life happen to you, you have life happen for you. You only get one ticket to ride here. So why be at the behest of external forces when you just consume or are at the behest of them? It's no way to live. And very few people realize they do have a choice on how they respond. And believe me, your reality is the 6 inches between your ears. If you think the sky is falling, there is no way somebody's going to tell you that it's not. If you think it's sunny and bright while it's storming out, that's your world. Our world lives inside of us. And that's a very, very deep subject going back to the whole developmental trauma thing, but we won't go there. This is still factual. Your world is your perspective. We all have foundationally the same experience, but then the nuances are infinite. And based on the whole nurture and nature, how we were raised, our genetic predisposition, there's all kinds of, goodness gracious, I could talk for eons. There's intergenerational trauma, there's inherited trauma. You can inherit trauma from 30 generations ago genetically. It is no joke. So just the recognition and the appreciation of you are one special person, no matter what that genetic makeup is. But you do have the chance and the control to change it. You absolutely do. Even genetics could be override. That's why there's epigenetics, the science of genetic predisposition disruption. You could actually be the archetype of a new personality of your family, changing yourself so much that generations downstream from you do not inherit the 30 generations ago trauma genes. Again, deep subjects. We'll table that for a second. But
Well, but I know. Well, but
yeah,
on the other hand, a couple things. First of all,
talk to me.
do you know who Nico Oliver is? He calls himself the Hamburglar. Is
The
here?
Hamburglar. This is my South African friend and contact for many years now. Yes, Nico is a dear friend, and he resides in South Africa now. I worked with him what seems like lifetimes ago here in New Jersey. I'm so glad it's so late, and for your Kenyan friends, it's so late. Uh, is he just chiming in, or does he have a question?
No, he just wanted to say that the Hamburglar was here,
Oh, thank
and of
you.
course Tony says it's not what happens, and I want to change one word if I could, and then I need to take a break,
Sure.
and then when we come back, I want Rob's. It's not what happens, and it's not how you react to it. It's how you respond, and we'll be right. At least that's what I think. And Rob's smarter than I am, so he'll tell me if I'm right or wrong. So, in any event, we will be right back. I'm glad everybody's here. You guys are making this a lot of fun for us. So we'll be right back in just like a minute, 55 seconds.
You're listening to Brushwood Media Network, the best in syndicated talk, news, and entertainment shows.
Are you looking for your daily dose of inspiration? Stay connected to all your favorite shows, music, and news with the Brushwood Media Network app. From Positive Talk Radio to Greatest Vibes Unplugged and so many more uplifting voices around the world, everything you need is right in one place. It's easy to use, too. Always available and designed to keep you inspired 24 hours a day. Go to brushwoodmedianetwork.com and download the app, and you will always have Brushwood Media available on your smartphone. Download it now and make inspiration and music and conversation part of your everyday. And welcome back. We're talking to Rob Leonetti, and he is a trauma coach, and he's so much more than that. And he's got a great following, and some of them are here. And we're glad that you are here, Mr. Hamburglar. And I hope, because it is South Africa, it's late. It's in the middle of the night over there.
It's late. Yeah, it should be midnight and 37 minutes, I would suspect. Yeah.
Yes. So, Rob,
Yeah.
I want to ask you this, because when something comes up in your life with somebody around you that you really care about, and it's a very traumatic, and the particulars are not important, but when somebody is getting or has gotten news that is one of those meltdown moments,
Oh, yeah.
where they're feeling like everything is gone to hell and there's nothing that they can do about it, and they have no agency, they have no choice, they have got nothing. And how do you help somebody through that when they are going through that, to help them get through and to recognize that they have value and the life is going to be better for them.
Well, you have to honor that, what's going on. You have to let them kind of run that course. It's very, um, that's a very profound experience. Well, of course, we're talking if they're experiencing a loss, that's one thing, and you comfort them, you let them process, etc. If they're thinking about self-harm and going through a very tumultuous time, that's absolutely another scenario that they may need professional help. So your mileage kind of differs in those scenarios, but ultimately you have to honor the experience that they're going through, because words don't work. Emotions override. The brain's mechanism and higher functions of the frontal lobe go offline when the emotional center blasts, and just hormones and neurochemicals flood and destroy the ability to think logically. So that's not going to work. Your best bet is to be there for comfort, to be there to help them process the emotions that they need to express, right? The emotions pour out for a reason. And the best you could do is be supportive, of course, make sure that there's no harm that would befall them, depending on the scenario. And then, of course, if it's something serious, to get professionals involved. But if it's the mourning or the loss, you're there to be with them, to comfort them, and to honor their state of grieving. And really that's kind of it. Make sure that they feel valued, seen, and and with compassion and safe space. No judgment, just the processing of the emotion, and then let it pass, let that emotional state pass. And it will, because the thing about life, everything good and everything great will end. It will pass. This too shall pass. I mean, cliches are there for a reason. Most of them are really based in fact. But this too shall pass. I mean, wouldn't you love if the great times that you've had in life just lasted forever? Oh my God, lasted more than just the ephemeral state that they exist in, the quick boop. I felt joy, I felt great, oh my gosh, and then it's gone. It's gone. And then you ruminate on something else and take yourself into a different stream of thinking. And that's where the hormones come in, and the neurotransmitters and all the things that create emotion. And your thoughts, it's always thoughts follow state. Your emotional state brings your thinking along with it. So if you're just a ruminator on things, negative, then of course you show up in life in what your focus on. Your emotional state is based on where your focus is. So that's why it's so important to catch yourself, have that agency, and concentrate on the things that are joyful, or the things that actually, that's why things like gratefulness journals and things like that, people may say posh posh, oh my gosh, that's just so cheesy, I don't want to do that. Do you know it's literally impossible to feel any sense of negativity and gratefulness at the same time? Gratefulness and appreciation, that sincere emotion, like true gratefulness, is empowering. It squashes, it eliminates any other emotion that tries to permeate that sense of being in that moment. It's very, very powerful. So having a gratefulness meditation, journaling, appreciation, this becomes habitual. It becomes a part of your daily rituals to set your day in motion in the beginning. But I want to talk about something that I didn't get to on our last chat. Something that actually changed kind of changed my life. And it's a little bit scientific, but I'll put it in very, very basic terms.
So it changed your life. Could you like maybe come up with something a little bit more substantial than that? No, I'm kidding.
Oh, I found a piece of gum on the floor and I thought, wow, look at
No,
that.
I'm
So
just
this
a
wrapper.
kidding. So please continue with something that was so important that it changed your
Yeah.
life.
Yeah, and it's kind of a silly name, but we never got to talk about it. We were having such a great conversation. So it's called polyvagal theory, and it is the scientific theory of safety. And the thing about all this trauma in the world, at its root base, it makes you feel unsafe. And safety is an absolute requirement in the human condition. You need to feel safe, to feel whole, to feel connected, to feel uh, like a human, and living in the present moment. We all are ruminating and thinking of the past and getting depressed and looking at the future and getting anxiety, and staying in the moment is omniscient. It's all powerful and it's so hard to do. So what what is the mechanisms inside you that makes you go to and fro and recognize danger, threats, things like that? Now, this is kind of like the Lady Gaga. We're made this way. But that's where this information and education helps you become aware so you could at least help manage yourself. These are the aha moments that I'm talking about. So this polyvagal theory is the science of safety. It was derived from a doctor named Stephen Porges in the 90s. And really, it means poly means many, multiple. And in this case, it's three neural pathways or branches of a physical nerve. The 10th cranial nerve in your body is called the vagus nerve. And vagus means wanderer in Latin. And that's because it wanders. It's the longest nerve, cranial nerve from your brainstem in your body. And there are three branches of it. And really, it's really like a high-tech security system, most of what it is, that's always scanning for cues of safety or threat. And it's an automatic process. It's called neuroception, and we all do it. It's the scanning for clues and cues of safety and danger. Your body is always having a radar. Am I safe? Am I in danger? Hundreds and hundreds of times a day. The three branches um, are ventral, which means the front, and the nerve goes down around your esophagus, around your heart, around all your major organs until it hits till it hits your lungs, and then it stops. The other part is the dorsal vagal, which dorsal means back, and it goes from the back and down your body. And then the third part is part of the sympathetic nervous system, which is that fight or flight thing. So when your body senses safety, a green light comes on and you feel calm and open and connected. And that's your ventral vagal. That's the part in the front. That's the zone of regulation. That's when you can feel connected. When danger appears, you shift into the yellow zone, the sympathetic state we all have. We've all experienced that one. The fight or flight, ready to flee. And if the threat feels overwhelming, your system hits a red light. The dorsal vagal comes in, you shut down, go numb, and you disconnect. You just disconnect. You can't even, you're just frozen. So the green lane is smooth and cruising, grounded and open. The yellow lane is heavy traffic, stress and reactivity. And the red lane is pulled over on the shoulder, exhaustion, out of gas. Healthy nervous systems can shift these lanes easily, but trauma makes you get stuck in either speeding endlessly or stalling out. So healing is learning how to drive again, how to switch these lanes consciously. And that's where your vagus nerve comes in. When the signal is strong and you feel connected and grounded, that's when you feel connected and grounded. When it's weak, you lose signal, and that's anxiety, overwhelm, and collapse. And the beautiful part is you could strengthen these connections. Your breath is the remote control for your emotions. Every slow exhale resets this nerve. And the human condition is your charging station. Every moment of safety and empathy recharges your system. Healing your nervous system is like learning to play an instrument, Kev. At first, it's awkward. You'll miss notes. But with practice, consistency, your body learns the rhythm of calm and reconnection to itself. That's the music of safety. And it's always, always waiting to be played. And I consider myself a music teacher. And I teach my students to play their instruments till it's second nature, so they can reclaim that agency, understand how they work, and stay in a place of connection and safety. And that is unbelievably powerful. But understanding how you work is powerful too. So all of a sudden, it doesn't stay a mystery. It doesn't stay this, how in the heck am I going to change? How can I work with my body and not against it? What do I do? Somebody show me. I can't do this hamster wheel anymore. So that's when I say, you need to reset, recharge, and refocus. I mean, don't we all update our apps on our phone and our computers constantly? And
Oh yeah.
those upgrades are making them run smoothly.
Well, and
Right?
and Rob, I just wanted to. I was just thinking about what you were talking about with breath work,
Mm,
and how that resets that nerve. Now they have been teaching breath work for literally thousands of
thousands of
years.
years.
They didn't know why it worked. They couldn't
Exactly.
lay it out like you did, but they knew it did work. And now, with the science that we have today, we're able to go back and we're able to prove that they were looking at it from a real perception and an idea of what works. And that really worked. But now we know why. And that's really cool now that you know why.
We do, and I mean, if you're upgrading your computer on the daily and your phone every time it asks for something, why didn't you at least take as much care of yourself and your mind that you do to your phone? I mean, don't you at least deserve the attention that you give to a non-sentient being, a contraption? That we all can't live without, and that's another thing with the dopamine and everything else. But I mean, this is why just working with yourself, on yourself, I mean, you honor yourself by doing it. You give homage to yourself, and you just increase your level of living in the moment, living with joy, etc. And that's why I created what I call the conscious body, and that's from healing on the inside out. And if I may, just very quickly, all of this combined, everything we've just been speaking about in this conscious body protocol, we heal the entire person inside and out, and it's 5 pillars. The first one is safety and stabilization, and that's grounding that vagus nerve, techniques to tone it. It actually has a tone. It could become very, very non functioning. It will not create the systems and the tonality, and you can increase it. You can increase the tone, you can increase the speed, you can increase the functionality and optimize it. And then the second pillar is nutrition and neurobiology, supporting the brain-gut axis. The brain and the gut are just about one. 95% of your serotonin is in your gut, your immune system's in your gut, you have a second brain called the enteric nervous system in your gut, and that vagus nerve is all around your gut, communicating with your brain constantly. This is super important for becoming whole and well. Then there's movement and embodiment. That's the third pillar, using the body to release emotions that don't serve you. That's somatic release. Somatic means body. Recognizing where the trauma, where the pent up mechanisms that don't serve you are in, and how to release them, get them out. The body keeps the score. The body remembers what the mind forgets. Then there's integration and reflection through mindfulness, self-inquiry, meditation, and journaling. And then the last one is connection and belonging, because we heal in relationships, not isolation. The truth is your body is always listening, and every thought you think and every breath you take, every moment you pause to notice your body, that's consciousness in motion. That's how you change the frequency you live in. And when you treat it with safety, compassion, and consistency, it begins to trust you again. And that's where healing becomes possible. So I just wanted to let your viewers know that that is a very, very purposeful model that I created that brought me into a new state of health and wellness, because it's a mind-body wellness. It doesn't exist solely in one or the other. We are a unit, connected and whole. And you cannot treat one without the other to become your best self and your most well self. Health isn't just body, it's body and mind.
And the mind is an incredible thing. It can change. I wanted to ask you because, and by the way, Tony says beautiful stated, well done, and I think she likes you personally, but and that's just me. But I wanted to ask you. So we've got body and mind. Where does our energy, our essence, our consciousness, and all of that, and interface with all of what you have just been talking about? Is there an interface with it? Is it separate, or is it part of one or the other, or both?
Oh, it's part of everything. I mean, in fact, and that's belief systems, right? You could believe in science, you could believe in your own religious acumen. Doesn't matter. If you boil it all down, all religions boil down to a simple. You take out the rules and regulations, and it's my belief. And again, these are personal beliefs that basically you boil down to three tenets. Do unto others as you do unto yourself. There's something bigger than all of us, and we're all connected. Now, even science and quantum physics proves that at the baseline Planck scale, we are all connected through superstring theory and going deep into the subnuclear realm. Everything is one. Superposition, the particle slit theory, all these things that I could talk about from a quantum physics perspective. That's one thing. So if you're like so into science, boop, you look at that, you put your star on that. Well, your spirituality, you believe in, you name it, doesn't matter. When you connect into something bigger than yourself, it feels right. It feels like home. This is my belief. No one in the world needs to share it. It's personal. However, there are a lot of facts around the connectiveness of all of this. So that's what I'll say. And nobody understands where consciousness actually is, where it lives. The old adage, well, it's energy. When we pass away, our energy lives, goes to a different plane. That's heaven, et cetera, et cetera. You know what? What does it matter? Does it even really matter? If it means something to you and it sings to your soul, then let it be. If it doesn't hurt anyone else, you believe what you want to believe. Get you through the night, get you through the day, makes you feel inspired, makes you feel like you're not alone, then believe it, because that's where the power is, in that belief. And we are conscious beings. We are, so much so. And, I say no reason to label it. Just understand that we're all part of one big family. And then why wouldn't you want to become your best self to help others become their best selves? That's why we're here. Ultimately, we get caught up in all the milieu and mire of everything else. We are here to support each other. And this is my small way in trying to do that.
And by the way, Rob, you just said 3 songs that are really important to me.
It's had to be the Beatles. All You Need Is Love.
No. Well, it was, but one of them was Let It Be.
Let It Be. Yep.
Just Let It Be. And the other one is from Metallica, which is Nothing Else Matters. Forever trust in who you are, because nothing else matters. And then Whatever Gets You Through the Night was John Lennon. And so, because I believe that in some cases, those things are designed to help us, and they're created for our betterment if we will look at them and listen to them and understand them. Now, I got to ask you, is belief or knowing a better place to be?
One or the other specifically?
Well, and let me explain, because we're going to run out of time.
I'm going to say belief.
Because for me, it's like I know where I'm going after I die. I know what's going to happen.
You're talking about the afterlife.
I'm talking about all of it. I know what my soul is doing. I know why I'm here. I'm and as simple and as unproductive as it may be, this is why I'm here. And I'm here to talk to Rob and to put this out into the world and stuff. So it's really, for me, I don't have any doubt. And so if you don't have any doubt, is that more of a knowing, or is that still a stronger belief? I don't know.
It's personal preference. There's far be it for me to answer that question for you, right? If you do have that knowing, you certainly don't need me to answer that for you, right?
And Rob, I'm so sorry. You're going to have to come back, and Rochelle has promised me that she'll be here next time.
Rochelle, feel better.
Yes, and if somebody wants to contact you, Rob, how do they do it? And I highly suggest you do it. And Rochelle, Rob was wondering why you haven't contacted him yet, but we'll talk about that later.
Well, I will say I do have something to offer for the audience if they're remotely interested. So it's called Recalibrate to Safety. It's a simple 5-day guide that helps calm the nervous system, ground the energy, and all the things. And I'm happy to provide it to anyone who asks. So just email me at rob@hopebridgecollective.com and put the word safety in the subject line, and I'll send you that guide. And then if you wanted to set up a synergy session, I call it, so we can talk about your goals and see if we kind of mesh, and if I could help at all, I'm happy to do that too.
You're an extraordinary human being, and I know that you don't want to be called that, but I did it anyway. And I want to thank you so much for being here. And again, go to his website, which is hopebridgecollective.com. And there's lots of stuff to do there. It's kind of like an amusement park. You can hang out there for a little while and find out all kinds of stuff. And he can help you if you have suffered trauma. If you're in the process of suffering trauma, give him a call, because he can help you see that tomorrow can be a brighter day, that you don't have to live in trauma your entire life. And
can I end with one? Can I end with
Yes.
one thing? So I don't want to cast any illusions. There's no overnight fix for any of this. I wish there was. Believe me, I do. But I am here to tell you that there is hope, because it's my mission to be the resource that I never had, and show those who want to choose to make themselves a priority, which they are, and fast track to transformation and to live a life they could love, with their body and their mind and their soul. That's what I'm here for. So I just wanted to let them know that.
It's an incredible mission that you're on, and thank you for doing it. Thank you for being here on the show today.
Kevin,
Rob
my pleasure.
Leonetti has been our guest. It's been a wonderful show. I want to thank you for doing this.
Thank you, Kevin. My pleasure. I appreciate you having me today.
And everybody that is listening, thank you so much. And everybody be well. And some of us actually get well, and that would be even better. So thank you, Rob. Have a great day, everybody.
Kevin.
Thank you for being part of Positive Talk with Kevin McDonald, where stories inspire and voices remind us of what truly matters. May today's conversation give you hope, courage, and a reason to keep moving forward. And just remember, till next time, be kind to one another, because each other's all we've got.